Has anyone noticed that the economy appears to be in some crazy 10-year downward spiral? Just me? Hey, at least I've got this bad boy. Check this out. Yeah, look at that. 50 million Zimbabwean dollars, which probably won't get me much, to be honest, but my mum got it for me for my birthday. It's quite funny. So today, to try and alleviate those growing prices in the supermarket, it's absolutely crazy. We're going to attempt to make a 3-course meal costing just a total of £3. We're doing the Girl Scout salute. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country. Sorry, you guys have been watching a long time, you know I was a Girl Scout. Sorry, I went a bit off tangent there. Yes, 3 meals, starter, main and dessert that will cost a total of £3 per serving. So just to clarify that before we get started, I'm basing this on the cost of the 3 dishes per serving. Actually, for 2 of them today, I'm in the unusual situation where I'm cooking only what I need. The ingredients for the shop was more expensive, but I've got a boatload of ingredients left, which of course you could use another time. All right, so ingredients for our 1-portion shakshuka, costing 8 pence, is half a red onion. I just sliced that into nice old strips. A quarter of a yellow pepper, so just a face off that, which comes to 11 pence. I cut that into strips. A teaspoon of cumin seeds for 3 pence, extremely underrated. Half a tin of budget chopped tomatoes. I'd love to go for the expensive, delicious stuff, but there's just not the budget, and we're only using half the tin. Yeah, this is the cheaper tin. It's like so much cheaper. Even for a left-hander in a right-handed world, this just feels wrong. Well, I need half that tin. Now, they were only 43p and I've rounded it down to 22 pence. I've been harsh on myself by 1p there. That could prove critical. I've also got myself 1 free-range egg for 30 pence. I'm sorry, from cheap versus steep videos, I am not putting a budget egg in there. And why not for dunking a single slice of bread, which costs 6 pence. I am literally counting the slices of bread in this loaf just to make sure I stay in budget. That's right, all of those ingredients for just 80 pence. Although as you'll see, sometimes when I do videos like this, you guys think I'm being harsh on myself, so I am allowing myself some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of oil from the store cupboard. All right, so to get started, we're gonna add our cumin seeds into a frying pan solo, no oil, just fry it dry. Toast away, my friend, toast away. Add in just a smidgen of oil and your onions and peppers and start to stir it and coat it and cooking it away, getting it nice and sizzly. After about 5 minutes, once it's nice and softened, we dump in that half tin of chopped tomatoes, then add in a little bit of salt and pepper, and now we just let it simmer and bubble away like a cauldron. It just looks so nice and happy, doesn't it? Once you're happy with the tomatoes, push them to one side, leaving a bit of a crater in the middle for our egg to dollop straight in there. Cover it with a lid to act as an oven and begin to cook that egg white. And whilst that's happening for dunking, we can toast up our budget bread. As you can see, it's quite hard to understand what's going on in there, but you kind of just got to trust the process. It might look kind of messy with the sauce flicked all over it. The main thing we're trying to do is set that egg white. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Oh, damn, that looks good. I mean, you can't really control where the egg white goes. Looks like it's got finger indents in it from where it's been bubbling up, but I'm really happy with that. Let's get some pepper on there as well. So you kind of have to serve it in whatever dish you make it in. If you push this off the plate, if you don't care about how it looks, absolutely fine. Well, there we go. That's my dish. Oh, this is great how the egg has pushed out the tomato. There is literally no tomato under there. But 1 serving, 80 pence. Oh, go on. Yes. Oh, sweet. How is that sweet? That is absolutely gorgeous and surprisingly filling. I do actually think with all those ingredients padding it out effectively, it does look like slightly more than 1 portion. Oh, look at the yolk. Oh. I quite like eating it with a spoon. It's the tomatoes, they're really sweet. It pops really nice with the cumin and the salt and pepper we put in there. Perhaps on a personal level, I'd probably put some balsamic vinegar in that. But if I close my eyes, okay, and if I pretended that I was in a restaurant, I would actually pay way, way more for that, and probably, and this is actually a true story based on somewhere in my hometown, probably pay about 10 times as much of that and have half as much. That is a phenomenal start, and I'm quite scared now because we might have peaked. Yes, some super expensive San Marzano tomatoes in there or whatever would be gorgeous. Oh, but genuinely, I wouldn't change a thing about that. Yes, so time for our main that comes to £1.62, and I could have gone even cheaper on this. We're gonna need 125 grams of risotto rice. Now, if I wanted to save a bit of money, I could actually get some supermarket version pudding rice, but I'm actually gonna go for the proper stuff. Some risotto rice. Pudding rice is short grain rice as well, but yeah, this is good. That doesn't look like very much, but I have to remember this is just one portion. We've got a white onion, just a quarter of that for 5 pence. That'll get finely chopped. We've got a supermarket own brand vegetable stock cube at 11 pence. And that just gets mixed in with boiling water, which is free. Woohoo, free. Got a piece of Grana Padano cheese that came in at 17 pence. But we've also got 2 things from the freezer that we're gonna cook first. Frozen broccoli florets. I'm gonna use 12 pence worth, but we don't need them just yet because look, 150-hour chocolate cake. I'm not sticking that in there, but I might juice it. That's another story. Oh my word. A 1 kilo bag of frozen chicken breasts. I'm gonna use 100 grams of it. That's about 43p. And I just went to a mainstream supermarket. I could probably gone to one of the budget ones and saved even more money. But the way the world is right now, as I look over at my Zimbabwe banknote, that's pretty darn good going. So we'll start with the chicken first of all. It's on a baking tray, seasoned with pepper and salt. For me, that doesn't look like a chicken breast. It looks like some sort of crazy diamond. And then just bunged in the oven to roast for 40 minutes.
Yeah, whilst that chicken's baking away, there's nothing much else to do other than just maybe chop up my onion and wait. But it turns out that a quarter of an onion is quite a lot for one person.
So about 20 minutes later, next to some very finely chopped onion, I also got the frozen broccoli and seasoned that too and shoved that into the oven alongside the chicken, which was working a dream. So with the broccoli going in the oven, that became our time to start this risotto. We got a frying pan, added in a little bit of oil from the store cupboard. Oh look, some caviar from my store cupboard. I'm not doing those rules, but when I go too harsh, some of you guys are like, oh come on, do a bit of oil and salt and pepper. So that's what we're doing today, all right? I'm gonna do that, and then some of you guys are like, no, you shouldn't have done that. You can't win. Get your chopped onion into that frying pan with the oil and just cook it over a medium heat until it starts to soften up and goes a little translucent. Get the rice in there with the onions, stirring it through to fully mingle it all together.
Oh wow, that looks really glossy. It almost looks like see-through.
And then we slowly add in the vegetable stock.
So I'm just gonna keep adding the fluid in batches and stirring it through and hoping it'll get creamy. I think the pudding rice is a bit more temperamental. It would have done it, but I think a real risotto should have risotto rice. I'd like to have added wine, but the budget did not allow for that. All right, nicely charred broccoli. Look at that. And the chicken is nice and golden brown. It's hot as well. So we seasoned, oh, that is gorgeous. Oh yeah, it's still so hot. Oh, I can chop this up into much smaller strips. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't want to obliterate them too much. I'm gonna chuck 2/3 of the chicken and the same of the broccoli in and just let it kind of get coated a little bit and mingled together. Hello, who are you? There we go, that's a lot better ratio now. Oh, and I also found this.
But I have got some budget for some chives.
Just gonna give it a little haircut.
So that is 8 pence, bringing the total of this recipe to £1.62.
Snippy, snip, snip, snip in there.
But I didn't use anywhere near as much cheese as I thought I was going to, but I'm loving the colours in here. How that rice has just absorbed all of that stock and flavour. I really think this is gonna be good. That is our roasted chicken and broccoli risotto for £1.62 and possibly less if I could be bothered to recalculate it. Look at that. I don't know about you, but £1.62, and that's a decent portion size. I want to try this now. Here we go. Oh.
Sorry, that sign language is not official, but I was trying to describe how that rice has absorbed all of that stock. It looks kind of bland in a way, but the rice, I really hope the camera caught that, how it almost went like glass-like at first, like really glossy. That stock, although actually it would have been cheaper to make our own, but I didn't want to do this though. I just wanted to go grab stuff. It wasn't like a budget brand, it was just the supermarket own one versus the mega like well-known ones. Oxo, Knorr, I can't think of any others. But like most stock cubes, you've got that sort of salty intenseness with it. And of course we've salted the chicken and the broccoli, but it's not, it doesn't taste like the sea. It tastes like this deep, charring, comforting, creamy, like comfort food with a gym membership. I had to have a think about that one. Yeah, you are literally, if I went to a gym, that would be the dream gym, wouldn't it? The comfort food gym. Yeah, I'm just going to the gym and you go there and just like eat cakes and risotto and this was brilliant. Very different, much more savory tasting compared to the shakshuka, which I think from the tomatoes had some sugar in there. Absolutely gorgeous. I only had a little bit of budget left for our dessert, which to be fair, if you eat all, I mean, that's a big old portion. If you eat all that, maybe I should have just done an apple. Here's dessert. So this one, all being well, is going to be a banana chocolate chip loaf with an additional caramelized banana frozen berry topping. We've got a generic cake mix, that's £2.10. I'm going to need the whole thing of that. 3 bananas, 44p. 75 millilitres of whole milk works out at 11 pence. 1 egg, like we saw earlier, 30p. Some dark chocolate chips, not the whole bag, £1 5 pence. 15 grams of butter. In fact, I didn't actually buy that from the shop. I've got so much in the fridge left over from that mashed potato video, but that was 14 pence. I've also got loads of sugar
sugar around the house, so just a tablespoon of that. The bag of sugar was £1.65, so a tablespoon works out at 2 pence. And again, this is some icing sugar for dusting at the end. I don't know if I'm going to use this, but 1 kilo bag is £1.45, and well, it's 1p. And last but not least, just for the topping, I've got this frozen berry mix. It's a budget brand again, 400 grams, £2.50. I'm just going to use like a fifth of that. There's so much in there. This is just like an optional garnish thing. 31p. So as I think I'm going to be able to get it into roughly 8 slices. All of this for one slice, plus the caramelised banana, and that 56 pence a serving. Now apologies if during this step you hear the odd explosion, because it's bonfire night, or Guy Fawkes night here in the UK, which does freak people out when I tell them about it in other countries. But if you fancy doing some reading about what that's like, basically Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. I think, was it like the 1700s or 1600s? Let's go 16. But to celebrate that, we do bonfires sometimes. There's firework displays, whilst I mash a banana, although I do have football in a few hours, and there's a massive firework display going on right next to the pitch. So I'm hoping I can score a goal at the moment a firework goes off. But here we go. Talked about Guy Fawkes while mashing bananas. Who would have thought? Let's add the milk in. I could have used a can of fizzy drink, but I'm going to get milk because it's actually cheaper. I was mulling over skipping this step, but I think an egg will give it stability. Yeah, as you saw, I talked about getting fizzy drink because you can just pour that into cake mix. We've seen that before. It does kind of result in a different type of sponge though. But I've not completely mashed that banana up. I love that you've got those like little chunks. You could puree it if you want. In goes this gigantic packet of sponge mix that smells how the Shakshuka tasted. But it was a lovely combo, that. I don't see the point of getting like the branded ones unless you desperately have to, and that was not the exercise today. The budget wouldn't allow for using the whole bag, unfortunately, and I've not even used what I've reserved anyway, because I'm going to leave a little bit for the topping. Oh, I love that hand in hand with the chocolate chips, there are those dollops of chunky banana in there. Now, I've just sliced a banana lengthways off camera, and it's split. There we go. There's my banana split. Hey, a banana split. I'm going to take a pinch of my sugar, and I don't know if this is going to work. This is kind of experimental. I mean, like the whole of today's video, to be honest. I'm going to put a few more chocolate chips on the top. I'm hoping that sugar will caramelize along that banana. If it burns, that's my problem. If you want me to type these recipes up, I'll obviously add notes to that. It'll just be a big note, do not burn your banana. But that is ready to go in the oven. One thing I've learned with loaf tins is whenever you think it's done, you've got to leave it a little bit longer. So I'm giving this a decent bake. Yep, I reckon about 40 minutes. Here we go then, folks. 45 minutes later. At the 20-minute stage, it looked like it was done, but it wasn't. We've now just got to let this cool, but it smells incredible. Ugh, nearly there. I'm going to give it about 5 more minutes. That cooled in the tin for a long old time. All right, so let's caramelize the bananas. So this is that remaining sugar and some butter. I did actually slice these like an hour ago, and you can see how they've kind of like oxidized and sort of got naturally sweeter. Even that with like a sprinkle of cinnamon on it right now would be like really good. Oh, look at that. Lovely like golden color on there. Push it as long as you want. Obviously with the sugar, once it cools down, it will firm up, but I'm just gonna part it. So we've got strawberries, blackberries, black currants, and red currants, and it is bringing that to life really quick. But I'm hoping at the same time, not only is it going to quickly thaw out this fruit, it might mush and create, look, we've got a bit of a sauce here. Yeah, have a look at this. That is thawing really quick. Look at this sauce forming. Right, let's see what this cheeky little sausage looks like. I'm going to go serrated knife. Come on. Oh, I've got actually on the first part here, a nice little randomization of the chocolate chips there. Beautiful, look at that. You are the chosen one. All right, so let's just spoon a load of the fruits all around it. Oh, wow. I think I might just drape the one banana on there, a stained banana. Yeah, maybe another one there. Maybe straight from the pan, drizzle some more of that sauce on. So that is caramelized banana sauce. This wasn't supposed to look this good. I don't know if you guys want this to become a playlist or something, but it looks like Christmas, but a very, very sweet Christmas. I actually kind of don't want to eat it, but I am. How do you even eat this thing? I've got to try it like separately. I'll go for the cake first. It's got a little bit of sauce on it. Melted chocolate puddles oozing through it. It's got an amazing crust on it, but the chocolate and the banana running through it has just worked phenomenal. That is gorgeous. What about these caramelized bananas? This is the cheapest today. It doesn't look it, does it? Fruit. I'll have some fruit. It's not cold, it's warmed. It tastes homemade, and
it costs less than a sandwich. Have you seen the price of sandwiches in the supermarket now? Unbelievable. So have I achieved my mission? Yes, I have. The total came to £2.98, and I was harsh on myself. I rounded up. We've made 3 incredible dishes that I'm super proud of, that I hope you guys find useful. If you've enjoyed this, you might like my 3 ingredient recipe playlist, loads of different ideas and hints and tips for like budget saving, but this was like a real challenge. I know there's going to be some of you be like, that's not per se when it's not the same, right? I know that, and I'm actually wanting to try and do that. The £3 for 3, I think I can do it. I don't think it will look visually anywhere near as good as this. And don't get me wrong, I've still got 7 slices of this. I've still got whole bags of fruit and chicken and broccoli and risotto. It's like, it's just amazing. And obviously for me making food videos, massive shout out to my Patreon supporters that help support the running costs for the ingredients of the channel. But it's tough out there right now, so I hope you get some sort of inspiration, ideas from this, put your own spin on it, twist, send me a picture if you want on your social media platform of choice, and I will see you next time. I'm gonna eat all of this right. Oh, actually, I've got football in like 20 minutes. See you later. When you're alone and life is getting you nowhere, you can always make 56p cake. The sauce is outrageous. It's just frozen fruit, sugar and butter. I hope you try it.